Hi, good evening. Today is the day 50 of Gear Up Mains answer writing session. In this week, we are discussing the question related to the security issue. And lastly, we discussed the question on left-wing extremism and internal security. Even the today's question is also related to the left-wing extremism. The question is, left-wing extremism is showing a downward trends, but still affects many parts of the country. Briefly explain Government of India approach to counter this challenge posed by left-wing extremism. So question is very simple. We need to be right about the decrease in the trends. We need to be right about the challenge the Government of India approach about the challenges here. So let's break down the question first. We are breaking the question into multiple parts. The one is the introduction, then the body part, and finally the conclusion. In the body part, the question is demanding downward trends. So we need to be list out the downward trends of the left-wing extremism. Downward trends. Briefly explain the Government of India approach to counter the challenge, and we also need to be right about the Government of India approach here. So, India approach to tackle left-wing extremism in the country. So, this is the main question demand. The question is specific about the downward trends of the left-wing extremism in the country and the Government of India approach. We can also write about how the LWE is impacting in a brief. How LWE is impact on the elections, impact on the social developments. So these are some of the 4 or 5 points we can write in the impact there. But this is not a direct demand. The direct demand is the downwards trends and the government strategy to tackle the left-wing extremism. Now let's come to the introduction part. In introduction part, in this question we can directly define the left-wing extremism, exactly what is LWE. It is a radical left ideology in which they want a common class through various tactics. They want the common class through various tactics and through the armed revolution. They want to establish a classless society through the armed revolution. Classless society through armed revolution. So this is the definition of left-wing extremism. Even Prime Minister Manmohan Singh said that LWE is a major threat to internal security of country, major threat to internal security of country. So in the introduction you can write this thing about the left-wing extremism. It's a radical leftist ideology. They want classless society through the armed revolution. That's enough for the introduction. Now let's come to the part where the question is demanding specific about the decrease in the downward trends. How the LWE is showing downward trends. So initially, if we see the data, there is a decrease in the attack, almost the 47% decrease in incidence. Decrease in 47% incidence in the case of the left-wing extremism in India. From the year, if we see the year, from 2009-10 to 2020-21. There is a decrease in the incidence of the left wing extremism, means there is a decrease of 47% decrease in the incidence. If we see in the case of the district, there is almost 50 districts in India right now which are affected by LWE. Initially these districts were 77 districts which were affected by LWE, means there is a decrease in the number of districts as well. And if we see the third points, there are the 9 states but they decreased to the 8 states in left wing extremism. So you need to be present this data, this downward trends with respect to the left wing extremism in the country, and specifically this is the data you need to be right here. With this data you can present, there are some of the area like the area of Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Telangana. Same triangular junction of Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. These are triangular junction where there is a high impact of the left wing extremism, and there are some of the district also like the district of Dantewada, Abu Jamad and Bastar. These are the highly impacted districts by left wing extremism. So you need to be right about the downward trends here. We discuss about the downward trends and we discuss about the presence, the major presence in which area and the which districts. So you can write about these data in the first part of the question, where the question is asking us about the downward trends in the left wing extremism area in the country. So we can write about it. Then if we are moving to the second part of the question, if we are moving here, we need to be right about the impacts. We need to write about the impact or the challenges posed by the left wing extremism. This section we will write in very brief, in 20 words maximum. The challenge posed by the extremism is disrupt the election during the election time by attacking the election booths, by attacking the individuals. They are disrupting election. Frequent attack in these area by the LWE. Target vulnerable group. Always they are target the vulnerable group or vulnerable class and affect the social infrastructure like the roads, bridge. They are affecting the social infrastructure. So these are the challenge associated with the left wing extremism. So you can write these challenges in brief. Now come to the final part of the question where they are asking about the government strategy. How the government tackle the LWE, or what is the approach of the government to tackling the left wing extremism. So the government follow the different kind of approach. There is a law and order approach, there is a skill development approach, social approach. So we will discuss one by one. The first is the law and order approach. So the government is making a unified command in the area like the West Bengal, in the area like Odisha, in the area like Maharashtra, in the area like Chhattisgarh. The government is making a unified command, so the interstate control, the interstate regulation of left wing extremism. So the government can coordinate through this unified command and can tackle the issue of left wing extremism. Government amended the UAPA with respect to the LWE. Deployment of the Central Parliamentary Paramilitary Forces. Deployment of Central Paramilitary Forces. Now the government is also deploying the Central Military Forces, and their Central Military Forces the government is employing there. Specifically in the case there are more than 70,000 they are more than 70,000 CAPF personals are deployed in this area to tackle the issue of left-wing extremism. Then the fortified police station. In the case of Chhattisgarh, the government said the 40 fortified police station. Operation Green Hunt specifically, Samadhan doctrine by the government of India to tackle these kind of the issue, to tackle the LWE extremism in this area. So these are some of the law and the order approach which are used by the government to tackle the left-wing extremism. Now let's see the another approach which is related to skill developments. New Roshni scheme for skill development by the government of India under Deen Dayal Upadhyay skill development program. Nai Roshni scheme, skill development in the 34 districts of the affected area. Means if the government are providing the skill to these people, so they will not be involved in the left wing. And so they can be involved in the employment. Next is the government strategy related to the developmental measures. Forest Right Acts. The government amend the Forest Right Acts. So their rights, their collection rights, their rights specifically related to the minor forest produce can be continued there. And the integrated action plan, their integrated action plan, Forest Right Acts, land rights, self-governance rights, integrated action plan like the government identified specifically the 35 districts which are highly affected by the LWE, and the government is making a integrated plan to tackle the left-wing extremism in this area. Social infrastructure, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, which is used to build the roads. So if there is development, if there is infrastructural development and the connectivity in this region, that can be built through social infrastructure that can decrease the left-wing extremism area in the country. Aspirational districts, the government identified the 128 aspirational districts, and out of these districts, some of districts are in the left-wing extremism area. So the government can work on the development. So the government can work on the development of these districts also. Return home scheme, the government of India announced a scheme so that the people can leave the LWE. Return home scheme means the people can leave the LWE and can join the main society. So there is a scheme run by the government in the Chhattisgarh about the return home scheme. Zero tolerance policy of the government in 2017. The government make a policy about the zero tolerance against the left-wing extremism, and after that they implement the Samadhan doctrine also. So the government is working on the development measures, with that they are also working on the tolerance. So these are some of the development measures like the Forest Right Acts, integrated action plan, social infrastructure, civic action plan, aspirational districts, return home scheme. So these are some of the developmental measures you can write in your answer. Now finally, how we will conclude this kind of the questions. So we discuss about the downward trends, we discuss about the impacts, we also discuss about the government of India approach to tackle the left-wing extremism. Now it's a time to conclude the answer. How we will conclude these kind of the answer. So we can conclude easily like a Naxalism. Naxalism is not a cause, it started from the some process. It resulted because of the some issue, it resulted because of some process, some of the developmental issue. They feel segregated out of the society. So the government should work on integration, government should work on skill development and the social development of these areas, so that we can tackle the issue of left-wing extremism. This was the question asked in the UPSC 2018 and it was a 10-mark question. So your word limits are limited to the 150 words. You can write the introduction in the 15 words, conclusion in the 15 words, and the 120 words can be for the body. In the body, you need to be explained about the downward trends, the decrease in the area, the geographical spreads, and the data released by the Ministry of Home Affairs. And you need to highlight the main part, the Government of India strategy related to the law, related to the skill development, and related to the developments. So you need to add these into the answer. So this was the day 50 of Gear Up Mains Answer Writing, and in this week we discussed all the questions related to the internal security. And in next week we will discuss the question related to ethics. So till then, please try to write the answer and you can submit your answer to the Edukemy portal under the mains program. Your answer will be evaluated by our expert mentors. If you start writing the answer, please try to break the question into the multiple parts. If you're breaking the question into multiple parts, you will see there is a coherence in your answer and you are addressing each part of the answer carefully. Okay, so we will meet again on Monday with the new topic, with the new subject ethics, how to address the answer of ethics. We will start it from Monday at the same time, 6 p.m. Okay, thank you everyone.